Given the root function for the happy face, we want to figure out what does it look like when we transform this function. So first of all, we need to have some reference points to work with. So we're going to use maybe the edges of the circle, the top and the bottoms, and I'll use those to the eyes and maybe those points on the smile. So I'm just going to do the edges of the circle first. So I'm going to start with -5 and +4. It's going to be -2, +7, 1 and 4, and -2 and 1. Okay, so that's a radius. Looks like it has a radius of 3. The eyes are going to be at -3, +5, and -1, +5, and the smile, and maybe I'll just do the two endpoints of the smile, -3, +3, and -1, +3. Okay, so we need to then figure out the transformations here. Okay, so I'm going to transform my horizontal changes. Actually, let's start with our vertical changes since they're easier. The vertical changes are going to be everything on the outside here. So it's going to be, the first thing that's going to happen is it's a vertical flip and vertical expansion by 2, and then it's a vertical shift +3. Okay, and so my equation looks like this: -2y +3. And I'm going to apply out that transformation to all the coordinates. So -8 +3 is -5, -14 +3 is -11, -5, that's going to be -2 +3 is 1, -10 +3 is -7, -7, and then -3 is times 3, sorry, 3 times -2 +3 is -3, -3. Okay, so then we need to look at the horizontal changes, which are a little bit harder. So the horizontal changes are going to be everything on the inside here. Now, you could algebraically rearrange these horizontal changes and combine them, because really in the end there's only 3 things that can happen: flip, expansion, compression, and shift. So these are just done in different stages, but we have a strategy to deal with these in different stages. So I can just solve for the other x. So I could write my notation and solve for the other x. So I end up with x minus 1. I'm going to times that by 2, and that equals -x plus 2. So I end up with -2, and then multiply everything by -1. And that's going to get me to my new coordinates. So it's going to, the transformation, if I look at this, it's going to be left 1. Then it's going to be horizontally expanded by 2. The third thing is going to be left 2 or -2, and then lastly is going to be a horizontal flip. Okay, and then so my equation, I'm just going to copy this equation here. This is my equation to transform the coordinates. Okay, so I'm just going to put that onto my line here, and I can use that equation to then transform these coordinates. Oops, I've forgotten a couple things here, so that's going to be 2 like that. Okay, so taking all those x coordinates, I'm going to transform them all. I'm going to subtract 1, so again -6, -2, times 2 is going to be negative 12. Minus 2 is negative 14, so I'm going to get positive 14, it looks like. Okay, and then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, negative 8, it becomes positive 8. 1 minus 1 is 0, minus 2 negative is going to be positive 2. Negative 3, negative 8, positive 8. Okay, and then negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4, negative 8, negative 10, positive 10 for that. Negative 1 becomes negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, minus 2 is negative 6, so then that becomes positive 6. This is 10, and negative 1 becomes 6. Okay, so those are my new coordinates. They're going to kind of go off my graph, so it's going to be a little bit, I'm going to scale this so that every 1 unit is going to be 2 units. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2.5. So that's my first coordinate. I'm going to 4, negative 8. There. 2, negative 5. It's going to be right there. And 8 and 1 is going to be right there. Okay, so this is going to be represent, I have that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be 8 and 8. Oh, so 2 should be right here. Okay, so this represents the outer circle. And then to do the smiley face part of this, it's going to be 10, negative 7. So I'm going to go 5, negative 3.5. There's my eye. 6, negative 3.5. There's my other eye. It's going to be 10, negative 3, so right about there. It's going to be 6, negative 3, right about there. And it should be, the bottom of the smile should be right about there. Okay, so there's my smiley face. It's upside down. It's been transformed using these two transformations for horizontal and vertical.